Hi there, Kevin here. Welcome to my wood shop. Today I'm going to share with you my version of a cajon with an on-the-fly snare adjustment. I've been building cajons off and on for about 4 years. As with a lot of projects, each time you build one, you make it a little better. I've built around 20 cajons in the last 4 years, and I've improved the design over those years. It has evolved to the one I'm showing you here. The first cajon I built was just a rectangular box with a soundboard in front and a hole in the back. The next one had a sloped front. The next one had on-off snares. My biggest challenge came when someone said, "Wouldn't it be nice if you could turn the snares on and off while you're playing?" This cajon does that. I've made my cajons out of a variety of woods: hickory, cherry, oak, and walnut. Most of the parts are made of 3/4 inch plywood, except the mechanism, which is solid wood, and the soundboard, which is 3/16 inch thick. Each variety of wood produces a unique sound. For example, cherry and walnut have richer tones and deeper bass sounds. Oak has higher upper range pitches, but not as deep of bass tones. My favorite look is hickory, and it produces tones and pitches that fall between cherry and oak. As you can see, there is a foot pedal that protrudes from one of the sides. When the foot pedal is pushed down, the snares engage the soundboard. When released, the snares return to their original position. This mock-up shows the internal mechanism of how my cajon works. This dowel goes through the side. Pressing it down activates the snare. I decided to use 7/8 inch diameter dowels for the foot lever and the pivot dowel so they would be sturdy enough to withstand heavy foot activity and still perform their function. The weight block pivots around this dowel. It provides the movement for the linkage to activate the snares, and it's also heavy enough so that gravity can return it to its original position. In its resting position, the snares are off. When the foot lever is pushed down, the weight block pivots on the pivot dowel and through the linkage rotates the snare support and presses the snare against the soundboard. When the foot lever is released, gravity returns the weight back to the off position. It's a relatively simple design, yet it performs quite well. The parts are relatively easy to build. The side parts have a 75-degree slope. There are 3 holes for each side, and they are drilled 1/2 inch deep on the inside. The 3 holes are for the snare silencing dowel, the snare support dowel, and the weight block pivot dowel. The curve slot is for the foot lever, and it goes through the material. My cajon foot lever is on the right side only. It can be built with the foot lever on the left, but the weight block needs to be assembled in reverse. The curve slot is 1 inch wide. The distance between the center curve of the slot and the weight block pivot hole is 2.5 inches apart. The top and bottom are 12.5 inches wide and have one end with a 75-degree angle to match the angle of the sides. It's a good idea to cut the top width, bottom width, and rear panel width together with the same saw setting. That way you're sure to get a matching width for the assembly. I usually assemble the cleats to the top and the bottom before I assemble them to the sides. The top has 4 clearance holes to attach the seat. There are 3 different lengths of cleats. 2 for the bottom, 5 holes across here. 2 for the top, 4 holes across. And then 2 for the rear, 3 holes. Only one direction. The weight block is made of 2 3/4 inch thick pieces and then glued or screwed together. I wait until the 2 sides are fastened together and then I drill the foot lever hole and the pivot hole. They must be 2.5 inches apart to match the side curved slot and weight block pivot hole. I prefer to use oak or hickory because they are the heaviest woods. When I'm done fastening them, I glue felt on the back side of the block. It helps reduce friction and helps seal it tight against the side. The weight block retainer's purpose is to prevent the weight block from drifting away from the side. Fasten it first to the weight block and then screw the retainer to the weight block pivot dowel. The screw doesn't need to go completely into the dowel, just enough for the tip of the screw to catch the dowel and keep it from sliding. The horizontal link has a 1/2 inch diameter hole and a screw pilot hole. The 1/2 inch diameter hole fits over the dowel of the snare support. The vertical link has 2 screw clearance holes. The dowel ends of this snare support are 1/2 inch dowels. The main body of this snare support is 7/8 inch thick. One end has a longer dowel because the horizontal link goes over it. The rear panel has a 4.5 inch diameter hole that has a 45-degree angle on the opening. The soundboard is made of 3/16 inch thick material. There are 7 fastening points on each side and 5 on the top and the bottom. The seat can be made of any kind of 3/4 inch material since it's going to get covered. I put a 45-degree angle around it so it's a little easier to sit on. This is an example of a covered seat. This is a finished cajon. I hope you found this interesting. Stay safe, wear safety glasses, and use machine guards.